Expectation fills the air on a gray and foreboding day here at the Daytona International Speedway. A very stiff breeze has been blowing over the past several minutes. It has rained all morning as CBS prepares to bring you our first 1990 full flag-to-flag motorsports coverage. Hello, everyone. I'm Ken Squire. You know, they say there's two ways that fans remember a race. One, who's on the pole, and two, who takes the checkered flag. Well, if you're trying to find a prescription to put together to make a race, take all those pole sitters from a single season and dangle $215,000 off the front bumper. Give them just 20 laps, 50 miles to decide the outcome, and you have the Busch Clash. 12th annual is lining up down below us now. It's a new-look field with 6 Fords, 2 Chevys, Buick, and rather an Oldsmobile, and a Pontiac ready to go in today's competition. It'll be run in about 15 minutes. The record for this race, 197 miles per hour, inches apart. It's an incredible event, and let's meet the men who are in it for 1990. Standing by, the Dean of American Racecasters, Chris Economaki.
Well, our lineup is here. 10 of the fastest in the business. 5 of these drivers won Rookie of the Year honors in their first year on the circuit. Let's meet the field. Mark Martin. Mark, 3 times this race has been won from the back row, but never from last place. Can you do it?
I don't know, Chris. We're going to try hard. It's going to be a big job.
Well, we're watching. And here's Davey Allison, a new baby at home. Baby needs some new toys, Davey?
Well, she could use a lot of things right now, Chris, but we got a long way to go.
Okay, good luck to you. And Morgan Shepherd, an old-timer who, when he's not racing, likes to go roller skating. Maybe get some silver skates today, Morgan. And here's Rusty Wallace, the new champion. Rusty, you've been on your horse, dinners, television appearances, public speaking. Now that you're back to racing, you like it?
Yeah, there's nothing to it now.
That's the way. Rusty Wallace, the champion. And here's Alan Kulwicki of Milwaukee. Alan, when you get out of the track, does that engineering degree help you?
Sometimes. I hope it does today.
There you go. Alan Kulwicki from Milwaukee. And then we have Jeff Bodine, a New Yorker who's been racing all his life in Chevrolets. First driving a Ford. Comfortable?
I love it, Chris. Great. Want to go for a ride?
Well, you shaved your beard. You hardly look the same.
New guy.
Good luck to you. All right, here's Bill Elliott. Bill, do you know that if you win this today and lead the 10th lap, you'll pass $1 million in winnings here at Daytona?
I'd love it. We'll find out.
Okay, good luck to you. And here's Ken Schrader, the fastest of the fast. Won the pole position yesterday. What's the clash going to be like for you, Ken?
I'll tell you what, it's going to be tough. We got the best out here.
That's the way. Good luck to you. And here in the research and development car, Greg Sachs, who got lucky and won the wild card draw. You have a good ride, Greg. And up front here, Jimmy Hensley, who helped Dale Earnhardt. Hurricane Hugo put him here. The morning paper, Jimmy, says you're nervous. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm a little bit, but we're ready to go, and hopefully we can hang on to these guys and run with them.
Okie doke. There's your field. 10 of the leading drivers. And now let's go topside to my colleague, Ned Jarrett.
12th annual Busch Clash. On pit road for CBS, Mike Joy.
Well, thank you, Ken. We'd be on pit road, but my color commentator here wanted a view of the race, so we're atop the photo tower. Thanks to Darrell and Stevie Waltrip for joining us. You've won this race. You have 7 top 5 finishes in 10 appearances in the Clash. What does it take? What kind of drafting partner do you need to come out of the pack and win this?
What it takes is a car like Kenny Schrader's driving. You don't need any help. I think Kenny's just going to drive around the 20 car on the start, get out front, and I think he and the 46 car are going to pull away from everybody. And that's really what Kenny needs right now is to go with.
The driver starting 5th on back. What's their test?
Well, they've got their work cut out for them not to let Kenny and the 46 car Sachs get hooked up and get away from everybody and leave them hanging out to dry. So it's going to be fun to watch for a couple of laps here to see what kind of cards they play, you know, and to see if Schrader can get in front. If he can't get in front, that might change things a little bit.
Well, Ken, here's a fellow who well knows the way to victory lane at Daytona, and he'll be giving us his comments as this race unfolds.
Now let's join Dave. Halfway through the first of 2 preliminary laps, and let's take a look at the rundown here in a moment as the field organizes on the back straightaway of this 2.5-mile track. On the pole, number 20, Jimmy Hensley. Hurricane Hugo put him into this race. Dale Earnhardt could not get to Martinsville, and Hensley qualified his car. Greg Sachs of Mattituck, New York. The wild card selection, car number 46, is up on the outside of the first row. Then going to row number 2, there you have the number 25. That's Ken Schrader, the 1989 winner of this event, trying to make it 2 in a row. Beside him comes the 87 champion, who won this race at the record speed of 197.8 miles per hour, number 9, Bill Elliott. Going a little further back, in row 3, Jeff Bodine carrying Junior Johnson's colors. This is his 8th Clash, and Junior's had a car in every one of them thus far. Alan Kulwicki's car number 7 is alongside Alan Kulwicki out of Wisconsin. Going to row 4, Rusty Wallace, the defending Winston Cup champion, is on the inside, and Morgan Shepherd making his 5th Busch Clash start. Driving for Bud Moore, and the number 15 is on the outside. Now the final row, Davey Allison. He has been second for the last 2 years in this event. In the Robert Yates prepared number 28, waving as he goes by on the first of the 2 preliminary laps. And alongside him, the young man everybody's talking about, he and Kowicki both won 6 pole positions a year ago. That's Mark Martin out of Batesville, Arkansas, in the Jack Roush Ford.
They had rain here this morning, Ken. In fact, most of last night. So since they have had these cars on the racetrack is quite different. Could require a little bit different setting. Now, I'm sure to some drivers it'll be to their liking, and I think Mark Martin might be one of those drivers. His car seems to come on better the longer he goes, so I think he likes this condition.
In-car cameras in the last, and Jeff Bodine's car number 11. You're inside a car on the inside row. In one of the Hendrick cars, that is Greg Sachs, who won here at Daytona on the 4th of July several years ago. So there's where our 3 onboard cameras are located today, and from Sachs' bumper camera, a look back at the field as we prepare for start. The field now entering turn 3. Again, it's just 20 laps, 50 miles. $215,000 at stake, and there are some major bonuses in this, Ned.
Yes, there are. In fact, there's a $10,000 bonus for leading lap 5, $15,000 for leading lap 10, and $20,000 for leading lap 15. And you can rest assured those drivers know when those laps will be coming up and be trying hard to get out front.
Light is off on the pace car. It's ready to dip onto pit road, and the first major stock car race, 1990, is about to go under green, under starters' orders. 10 automobiles come to the line at the Daytona International Speedway. This is the prelude to the Daytona 500. They are on the brake. It is Sachs on the outside, number 46 on the brake, high side.
Here comes Davey Allison trying to move down to the inside. Here comes Schrader making that move we expected him to make.
And it's all here in this first lap as they dip and dive into turn number 1, and leaning. Here's Bodine in number 11 up on number 7. Kowicki out in front in that experimental car. The number 46. It is Sachs. Schrader tucked in second spot, backstretch.
The fellow who started on the pole, Jimmy Hensley, has a problem with his car. He's dropped completely off the pace. He's not in that 9-car draft that we see running up front.
Into turn 3. Sachs leading. New colors on car number 25. Ken Schrader. Won it a year ago. Lies in second spot. Here they come. Out of 4. First time by.
I tell you, Davey Allison has looked very impressive. He came from the 9th starting position all the way to 4th in the very first lap. You can see the black car coming up on Bill Elliott running in 3rd place. But that was quite a move that he made on the first lap.
Visions of his dad back in 1982. Remember when he passed 11 cars in 5 laps and went on to win that thing? Here's Davey Allison. Up in front. The leader continues to be Sachs in the 2nd position, and Schrader back to turn 3.
Now, Bill Elliott, as those two race up there, I think Ken's going to sit there and ride behind Greg Sachs for a little bit and say, hey, maybe we can draft away from that other pack. But back behind them, Davey Allison has caught Ken's Bill Elliott, and so that's slowing them down a little bit as they race for position.
The view back from the leader to the 2nd place car. You're watching it live here on CBS. Last lap at 46.3. Dave Despain has more on what's happened to Hensley's car.
Simply, Ken, the gear shift lever broke off the car as he was trying to get it up into high gear. He did get it into high eventually and is now at speed, but it broke his start completely.
Boy, that has to be a disappointing, frustrating situation. The first ever clash that he has been in, and now he's running about 14.5 seconds behind the leaders.
Coming by to complete lap 3. Here is Sachs in front. Schrader looks like he has him set up as he comes back to the line. Unofficial time. And again, it looks like a 194-mile-an-hour lap. Well, almost 195 as you watch it. Meanwhile, clobbering up into the field, Davey Allison is on the run as he tries to pick up those leaders. He's got some running to do. He needs a 2-car draft to do it now.
Yes, he does. He's now in 3rd place. And in front of Jeff Bodine, they're working together. You can see Davey out in front of, or behind Davey Allison, but they should be able maybe to gain on the front runners.
Ned, this is what you talked about earlier. This is going to be a Ford Chevrolet battle. Meanwhile, down to the inside, Schrader's going low. The two Chevys side by side, going down into the back straightaway. Out of turn 2, it's Schrader on the bottom. Sachs on the high side, the New York driver, up against the wall. Ken Schrader from Missouri. And they're even down across the line.
And Ken, this is exactly what Davey Allison and Jeff Bodine want, is for those front two cars to run side by side. They'll be able to gain on them very quickly. Ken Schrader would like to see Greg Sachs back off a little bit right now and let them get back in line and start drafting, because one more lap of this and those third and fourth place cars will be on.
Side by side, as you see from inside the Greg Sachs automobile. And now Schrader trying to pull ahead, going into turn number 3.
But the third and fourth place cars came up very close on them during that lap. Let's go to the pit area and Mike Joy.
Darrell, you called the start. Kenny Schrader used Hensley as a pick, jumped out to the front, but Greg Sachs is kind of messing with his game plan.
Well, what happened was, I'm afraid Kenny Schrader may have just made a tactical error. He passed Sachs. They run side by side there for the money lap, the 5 laps, the bonus lap. But he allowed the 28 and the 11 to suck up on them, and I'm afraid they might be in a bit of trouble now.
That's just what's happened, Ken.
That bonus lap, $10,000, was collected by Schrader. Let's see if he waited too long. Davey Allison, number 28. It is Chevy versus Ford. Back straightaway, working the 6th lap.
2 Chevys out front, 2 Fords running 3rd and 4th, and did that quest for the $10,000 maybe cost him 50 at the end. We'll see.
Big separation, about 25, 30 car lengths from 4th back to 5th position, as you see it there. Chris Economaki?
Just watching what Ken Schrader was doing there when he was behind Greg Sachs. He was watching the style, the way the car handles, sort of measuring it. But he did make a little bit of a mistake because he couldn't get in front of him quickly. And as you said, Ned, riding side by side cost him a good margin over the cars behind. This may change things as this race goes on.
Wallace's Pontiac was in 5th. Elliott is challenging him. Here are the leaders. This is after 5 laps. This is how they shook out. Schrader, Chevy in front, Sachs, and Davey Allison from the rear, out of the back of the field, has pulled himself up. Picture.
In fact, he chose to go with Davey Allison, with Rusty Wallace there to help him out a little bit in the draft.
Looking back from Greg Sachs at Davey Allison at better than 190 miles per hour, 194 in the last lap. So it's Ken Schrader staying in front. Sachs is in 2nd for Chevrolet. And it is the Fords of Allison and Bodine running next. Our CBS coverage as their man stays just barely in front of Greg Sachs, Davey Allison, and Jeff Bodine in the Junior Johnson number 11. Johnson's cars have won here on 2 previous occasions. Here's Schrader trying to win it for the 2nd straight year.
Greg Sachs doing a great job of drafting Ken, staying right on the back bumper of Ken Schrader. Once Schrader got around him, he's just hung right onto the bumper.
Halfway this time by. $15,000 bonus, so Schrader is already some $25,000 richer. Bodine swings to the outside. Davey Allison stays right here in 3rd. Bodine trying to make a move around him.
Yeah, I think he was just sort of checking out the 2nd groove of the track to see maybe what he might be able to do.
You've got to make your move in a draft a lot earlier this year than you had before.
Yes, because they lost about 40 horsepower when they reduced the carburetor restrictor plate. So, yes, you have to make that move a good bit earlier. Instead of doing it maybe off of the 4th turn to come for the win, they might have to position themselves coming off at 2 or going into turn 3.
Well, Rick Hendrick trying to be one of those owners that has won this race twice. Junior Johnson won it in 81 and 84 with Waltrip and Bonnet, respectively. Richard Childress has had two wins with it.
Schrader was a little bit loose coming off of the turn that time, Ken, or as it went through the tri-oval here.
And he was reflecting yesterday how loose that car was before qualifying.
I thought the rain would help to tighten the cars up a little bit because it washed a lot of grease and rubber away that was put down here during the 24-hour race a week ago.
And remember that it was an intense rain. It was a downpour last night. The water table is low in Florida. They needed the rain. It helped the track a little. It may not have helped Schrader. Here's Dave Despain.
with Richard Broom, the team manager for the lead car in this race. There was speculation that it might have been a strategic error with Kenny Schrader to go after that money lap and take the lead too early in this race. Yes or no?
Well, we didn't have any game plan. In other words, I just told him we had 3 money laps, and I wanted all of them. And I told him, I said, Kenny, it's time to go, and he pulled it off.
The money lap obviously is the last lap. Is it wise to try to lead this thing all the way to the end, or are you worried about the charge from behind?
Well, I tell you what, there's 2 Fords sitting back there capable of coming around, and I don't know what the deal is going to be on the last lap, but I think maybe we might have a little something for them. We're going to try and see.
Should be fun to watch, Ken.
Well, there you see them deployed, 1 through 4. Remember that Davey Allison running back there in the black car, the Ford Thunderbird, in the 3rd position, has finished 2nd the last 2 years in a row.
And Jeff Bodine, who is running in 4th place, has finished 4th in 4 of the last 5 years in this race. So he's sitting in his familiar position. He doesn't want that to happen again. Of course, he wants to move up.
Let's check in with Mike Joy and Darrell Waltrip.
Well, Darrell, you race a Chevy, but you've drafted against these Fords. Can the Fords move up?
Well, rumor has it that they like the lead. That they're not as comfortable in those cars behind in a draft. So it could very well be that neither one of those Fords has anything for those 2 Chevrolets. Actually, the only way they got there was because Schrader passed. So I think it's a done deal. I think Schrader will just drive on home. And, you know, Davey might be able to pass the 46 car, but I don't think so. Those are 2 strong cars there. They're out front, and I think they're home free.
Well, now all 3 of these fellas race against each other every week, but Greg Sachs has not been one of those. Is he a bit of a dark horse?
Not really. If he is, it's a fine thoroughbred, because that's one of Rick's cars, and it's got all the right stuff in it, and Greg's just doing what he's supposed to do. I'm sure Jeff and him are working with him in the pit. I'm sure they told him to let Kenny in front.
He's talking about Jeff Hammond and Darrell Waltrip's own crew pitting Greg Sachs today.
Looked like that Sachs car had a handful up there in 1 and 2, Ned.
Yeah, when he came off at 2, he got a little wide, and it'll do that sometimes, especially as low as Schrader's running on the turn. You come off of the next turn, then it'll sort of suck the second car out to the wall, but Greg did a good job of bringing her back and getting it back in line.
Big bonus money here. $20,000 up for grabs. 5 laps to go. We asked a few of the drivers what position they'd like to be in going into the final lap of the Busch Clash.
I want to be in front, no question about it. If I can be in the front, I can kind of dictate what the other people are going to do behind me. I know where they're going to try to go around me. And if I can be there before they get there, you know, I'm not going to do anything crazy, cutting anybody off. I'm just going to try to stay in front of them and try to block them.
The best place is leading the race, and the best position to be in is to have the strongest car.
You're trying to set yourself up to whether if your car is capable of it, whether you want to lead, run 2nd, or 3rd. Sometimes 3rd is the best because when the 2nd place man makes his move, then it leaves a big air pocket, and then you try to find a hole.
Thoughts of Morgan Shepherd. The man in 3rd is Davey Allison, and the 2 Chevrolets have drawn up in tight position. They're trying to break that draft. There are the 2 Fords trying to close back in again. Sachs looks like he has 1 shot left to take, for sure, in the 2nd place car.
You know, I agree with what Darrell Waltrip said a moment ago. The Fords don't seem to be able to draft quite as well, and we're seeing it now. The harder those tires get, the farther back they're falling. So handling is coming into play right now. It's not pure horsepower. It's a combination of both, and they just simply aren't able to. Now that the draft is not affecting them a great deal.
3 to go. We'd like to thank Robert Yates Racing and Junior Johnson Associates and Hendrick Motorsports for their assistance with our in-car camera coverage today here in the 12th annual Busch Clash. Here you are back with Davey, and he's looking up from under now by a fair distance, lying 3rd on the field. This is live today on CBS. 12th annual Busch Clash. Jeff Bodine right there in car number 11, the Junior Johnson car up behind the Robert Yates machine, goes to the outside of it now as we get down to show and tell time.
But I think they're both having a little bit of a handling problem, and you can rest assured that a lot of work will be done between now and next Sunday's Daytona 500 on those cars, because there'll be in heavy traffic then when you put 42 cars out on the racetrack instead of 10. They're about to put a lap on Jimmy Hensley. He had that slow start. Of course, he's been running out there by himself. No other car to draft with, so they have caught up to him.
Out of turn 2. Remember, next Sunday, 32nd annual, $2 million Daytona 500. It's here, live, flag to flag on CBS.
Do you notice how Speedway would come up and separate he and Sachs? Well, it didn't quite work, although Sachs is back about 2 or 3 car lengths.
Just 1 week ago, Schrader was winning after sitting on the pole. Phoenix, Arizona sprint car race. This man loves to race. Here's the picture from Greg Sachs in second place as he closes in. The white flag is out. This is it for the big money. Last lap. Averaging over 194. They slipped that lap down to about 192.
Now, this might be an intentional move. Sachs went high, dropped back a little bit. He's got to build up a lot of momentum. He's got to try to make his pass going into turn 3 if he possibly can. But look how low Schrader goes on the racetrack. He's not going to give him room to go under him, that's for sure. Sachs might have dropped back too far.
Looks like a Cale Yarborough move. He used him all kinds of racetrack, trying to break away now and bring it home. Schrader, who won the pole yesterday. It's a replay of 1989 when he won the pole and won this race. Here he comes. Checkers in the hand of Harold Kinder. Flag about to come out. And the 12th annual Busch Clash has been won by Missouri's Ken Schrader. He took all the marbles. He took every penny there was.
$45,000 in bonus money, $50,000 to win.
$95,000 total on Ken Schrader, the winner of the 12th annual Busch Clash here at the Daytona International Speedway. We'll meet the winner in a moment.
Came home the winner. What a way to start the season. $95,000 as they push his Chevrolet towards victory lane. We expected a classic duel between the Fords and the Chevrolets here, but the Chevrolet won the first round here. And now let's go to Mike Joy, who's with Ken Schrader.
Kenny, congratulations. Gosh, you did it again, and it looks like you're on a roll. Last year you won the pole, the Clash, the qualifier, and finished second to this fellow in the 500. What about it this year?
I'll tell you what, you know, it starts off good, and it's one of them deals, you know, you come down here and you try to win everything you can up until Sunday, and Sunday is the big one. I mean, at least we're getting something in case we don't go home with it Sunday.
Well, now face it, Greg Sachs driving for the same car runner. If he'd pulled up alongside you on that last lap, would that have been kind of a career decision for one of both of you?
It wouldn't have been a career decision for either one of us. That's the good thing about here at Hendricks Motorsports. Darryl will tell you, it's just, you know, when it gets to a deal like that, buddy, it's everybody for themselves.
Okay, congratulations to you, and Darryl, thanks for joining us.
192 miles per hour. Ken Schrader wins the Busch Clash back-to-back. Greg Sachs coming home in second place. Allison third. Bodine was fourth. Bill Elliott was in fifth. Mark Martin taking sixth. Kowicki seventh. Wallace was eighth. Morgan Shepherd ninth. And the pole sitter, Jimmy Hensley, wound up in the final position. Let's go to Chris Economaki.